You mentioned kanina na yung construction is feast and famine. Was this parang isa ba yun sa dahilan kung bakit parang what drew you to renewables at the time when the sector was still considered risky?
The thought process philosophy back then is we invest in asset that will give us recurring income that will leverage on our engineering strength. No? If you look at power kasi, as in if you look at your market, saan ba yung niche market that we can potentially excel? Kung coal yan, nandiyan yung mga big boys. No? So parang ang hirap na it's not a field na for new kids on the block to excel. So we really have to find the niche market. Plus, during sa construction namin, we're really very particular to make a difference. Dapat green. That's why we started the green construction. Hi, I'm Oliver Tan, President of Citicore Renewable Energy Corporation, and you're tuned in to Power Podcast.
Welcome to Power Podcast. This is a channel where you can listen to in-depth discussions of issues relevant to the Philippines energy sector. Power Podcast is a production of Power Philippines, the only online publication in the country dedicated to covering energy development across the archipelago. We cover all news and issues that spark meaningful conversations among members of our growing online community. We share the belief that sustaining the growth of the energy sector is vital to the growth of the country itself.
Welcome to the Power Podcast, where we sit down with the leaders shaping the future of Philippine energy. In today's episode, we're joined by Oliver Tan, President of Citicore Renewable Energy Corporation, the company that just switched on the Philippines' first baseload solar plant. It's a milestone that challenges long-held assumptions about what renewables can do and how far clean energy can go. We'll unpack the technology behind baseload solar, CREC's nationwide project pipeline, its financing strategy, and its expansion across ASEAN, including recent tie-ups that position CREC as a regional clean energy player. We'll also get to know Oliver on a personal level, his journey, his leadership approach, and his vision for a renewable-powered future. Let's get started. Thank you, Sir Oliver, at pinaunlakan mo ang aming invitation to be here at Power Podcast.
My pleasure.
Sir, we want to get to know you better first. You helped build major companies like Citicore, Power, and Megawatt. Can you walk us through your journey, your professional journey, and the experiences that shaped your leadership style?
First of all, I'm a first-generation Filipino-Chinese entrepreneur. No? First generation meaning when we put up the company, we did not inherit from our parents. So it's really sariling sikap. Early in my childhood days, as far back as high school days pa, we're really entrepreneurial spirit already started as early as childhood years. Yung mga iba-ibang racket, you would do things. And I was fascinated with the stock market at an early age of 16 years old. I would actually trade, buy and sell, invest in stock as early as 16 years old. And typical for a Filipino-Chinese, I do import building materials, anything that I think I can sell. So it's really trading. And Megawatt was one of my clients back then. But before that, I've done several. I'm into food industry, construction, consultancy, advisory, etc., etc. So I was my entrepreneurial skill set was honed by this experience. No? And so as I said, Megawatt was a client. No? Mm-hmm. And the founder of Megawatt, so we started as a client-supplier relationship and evolved into eventually a partnership. So Edgar, the chairman, said na, "Oh, you're a finance person pala. You're fascinated with finance. What do you think of Megawatt? Do you think this is an IPO material?" Sabi ko, yeah, I think well, your story, my story. So basically, uh, we can combine our journey and build a conglomerate, no, from where we were then. And true enough, I spearhead the IPO listing of Megawide in 2011. That was more than 18, 20 months work, no? Pro bono. It was really a success base fee. Okay? And that was my first IPO. And I always remember, I think someone said na when someone offer you or when opportunity knocks, even if you don't know how to do it, just say yes.
Oo.
And then
Kaya ko yan. Oo.
pag-aralan mo na lang paano, di ba?
Gagawan ka ng paraan.
Yeah. So I did the Megwide IPO for almost 18, 20 months. As I said, pro bono. It was very difficult because sino ba kami? People don't know. Although back then, the biggest client of Megawide was the C family through the SMDC pa nun eh. Haven't merged pa with SM Prime. So we were pitching our dreams, our goal, the story of Megawide. Ang hirap, siyempre, nobody believes in us, no? And towards the latter part na of the IPO process, lo and behold, do you know who took a bet on us?
Sino, sir?
It was the richest man, the richest family in the Philippines lang naman, through Henry C. Okay. So si Boss Big Boy took a bet. So they basically participated as an IPO anchor investor in the Megawide IPO. And so that was the biggest break of our life. So back then we said na, we are a construction company. It's feast and famine eh. Kung maraming projects, it's like every year we go out hunting. If we hunt lots of projects, saya tayo.
Okay.
Pag wala, gutom, di ba? We need to transform the business model. We leverage on our engineering, core engineering, construction, and my finance. No? Let's enter into infrastructure projects that will give us that recurring income. Okay, so
Smart.
yeah, so that was so whatever businesses we are in today was a product of 14, 15 years ago. Planned. The blueprint back then in 2011 was we diversify. So we identify transport infrastructure, utility infrastructure. Transport, tama-tama, during the Aquino administration, they were rolling out public-private partnership. And we thought na, sige, let's participate. And one of the biggest jewel asset that we got was the Mactan Cebu Airport. For a while, we were managing that until we divested, I think 2 years or 3 years ago. And then the utility, that gave birth to Citicore Power, Citicore Renewable Energy. The experience was transformative in the sense na we all the partner, we are entrepreneur nga eh. So suddenly when you are publicly listed, medyo you need to behave as a corporation.
Yeah.
No? So the leadership change eh. From an entrepreneur where you're creative, decisions are made faster. So now with the corporation setup, medyo iba pa. No? And then I started as from entrepreneur, tapos naging CFO ng Megawide, and then now CEO. I thought, pare-parehas lang yan. There's a big difference pala. CEO is more of people skills. You really need to build consensus, rally your people to work together. It's people skills heavy compared to a CFO. Numbers lang kausap yun. Everyday, numbers lang, and financial strategy. Pag entrepreneur, obviously, you're the business development. Ganun. So, through the years, I've learned how to transform and from an entrepreneur to a corporate setup without losing the entrepreneurial spirit. I kept on telling my partner, we should not lose that.
Yeah.
The minute we lose our entrepreneurial spirit, parang that's our advantage nga eh. Because we're first generation. We don't want to be like the conglomerate na ang hirap. Decision-making process is too difficult because too many hierarchical and all the corporate governance structure. Diba? So that was my long journey, professional journey.
Pero kung first generation ka, sir, sino, parang, who was your inspiration? Kasi, is it because you're Filipino-Chinese, dahil ba sa Chinese blood mo, kaya ka merong entrepreneurial spirit, or meron ka bang idol? Like, kunyari, siguro si Tatang, was he someone that you look up to? Ganon?
Well,
Or any Taipan for that matter?
yeah. Back then, if you ask, I think, Filipino-Chinese of my age back then, ang idol namin was Lucio Tan eh.
Oh.
Kasi before Tatang, it was Lucio Tan.
Oh.
Siyempre, idol namin si Lucio Tan from a tycoon, tapos ang daming asawa. So parang, everyone wanted to be the Lucio
Dok,
Tan.
alam mo, sir, dito na i-edit.
Ay, di ba? Diba? So we idolized Lucio Tan. Ang galing eh. It's also from grassroots how he built the business. And then I really developed a very deep interest, fascination sa finance, sa stock market. I follow si Warren Buffett. I follow how yung investing philosophy niya in life. I was so in love with the stock market that caused me I was my first course kasi was electrical engineering.
So may background ka na rin.
Well, back then I really don't know what course to take. Okay. Siguro na influence ako by my family kasi our family, my uncle is into electrical manufacturing. But instead na papasok ako sa school, nandun ako sa stock brokerage in the morning. Nakikigulo doon, stock picking, buy and sell stock. So, and na-kick out ako dahil nga hindi ako papasok. So, after 2 years, na-kick out ako sa UST as a electrical engineer.
UST! Tomasino ako.
Tomasyan ka pala. Yes.
Oo, Tomasyan. Pero graduate ka ng UST yan.
No, na-kick out nga kasi I have to move to another school because I was not going attend my class. Instead, nandun ako sa mga stock brokerage. Ganun talaga ka-in love ako sa stock market back then. So after nun, I eventually took finance, which was really my first love.
Saan kayo finance?
Sa PSBA.
Yung mami ko, graduate ng PSBA.
Gano'n. Back then, when everyone is using coco lumber, we're no longer using coco lumber back then. We're using the advanced formwork system and then the precast. So, we find technology na green. So, when we look at the power, wag na sa coal, it's something na for the big boys. Let's find our arena. And then, why not renewable? Renewable is clean, okay? It parehas sa philosophy namin na green dapat. And if you look at solar kasi, heavy yan sa engineering eh. Meaning, it's how you design the solar plant eh. So, may advantage kami. And this is an area, niche market, where potentially we can be the biggest, be the largest. So that was the thought process back then.
Was there a specific moment when you realized renewable base load was not just possible but necessary? Di ba kakaano nyo lang ng Citicore Solar Power Batangas?
Yes. Yeah.
So,
we knew that as a nation, in order for us to fully transition away from fossil fuel base, we need to have an alternative renewable sources that's base load. Right now, if you look at the renewable energy base load, you have geothermal, you have hydro, di ba? Other than that, hindi na siya base load because solar, wind are intermittent. So, with the battery energy storage system, and with the advanced evolution of the technology, commercially viable na siya. If you partner your solar or wind with battery, you're now able to smoothen the intermittency ng solar such that you're able to right size your solar and the battery. Even if there's no sun, so 5 p.m. onwards, you are able to continuously supply electricity coming from the energy stored while your solar is generating and you're dispatching through the nighttime. No? So through that technology, you're able to achieve a base load renewable energy.
Pero sir, the other day, I was able to talk to tawag dito, someone from Global Hydro. May event sila ngayon yung Phil Hydro eh. Siyempre, how do you respond to criticisms against solar? Kasi sinasabi nga rin niya, even I was telling him about yung what MGen did and what you are doing with may tandem ng solar with battery. Sinasabi niya, hindi pa rin pwedeng parang hindi apples to apples, it will not provide the same as what geothermal, yung baseload na pinaprovide ng geothermal o ng hydro versus solar, even if it's combined with battery.
Well, I think it's a matter of perspective. Yes, you cannot compare that with geothermal and hydro from that sense kasi yung very disproportion yung sizing ng solar. So you need to build like 5 times. So for you to achieve a base load, 5 times dapat yung solar mo with the battery. So disproportional siya. However, if you look at it from a microgrid, okay, this is also part of our business plan. If what renewable energy sources can you put in all of the island or each province? You cannot put geothermal kasi you're limited to where there's steam and you rely on the grid to deliver electricity. Water din, hydro. You cannot put a hydro plant for each province's its island. Only solar. Wind hindi rin. Kasi wind you rely on, there are islands na hindi malakas ang wind resources. Solar you can feasibly put every province with their own solar. Then you address the grid congestion issue kasi you don't need to deliver electricity via grid. So gusto mo per municipality, per province, you put up a solar with the battery. That's the advantage that the other renewable energy sources or even LNG or coal cannot. You cannot put coal plant in every provinces. You need the port facilities, di ba? Maliliit lang nga. Pero at least you change the market di ba?
And with battery storage, hindi ka na yung parang na problema na you can only harvest and use it in the morning kasi may battery nga siya. So, nakakapag-store ka. So, kahit gabi, meron kang may supply ka. So, sir we were talking about yung project nyo sa Batangas. What specific technologies or design choices made this baseload solar plant feasible and how do they influence CREC's next policies?
Yeah. So, it becomes feasible because of the evolution of the battery technology. When it started, mahal yan.
Yeah.
Just like solar panel.
Solar din.
10 years ago, ang mahal yan. I think 10 years ago, you need to sell your solar somewhere at 9 pesos per kilowatt hour. Look at where we are today. Sub 4 because of the technology. Ganun din yung battery. When it started, ang mahal. Pero ngayon, because of the more application,
the need din.
No? So nagiging commercially viable na siya. And our goal has always been to complement our solar with battery. So moving forward, all the solar plant that we will be building, even the legacy solar, lalagyan namin ng battery. And I think the DOE is adapting similar, I don't know if they already released the policy or about to release, in order to address the grid congestion. I believe they will eventually require all solar developer to include battery.
Okay.
Kumbaga, it's more responsible producing electricity, not just solar, but with the battery.
Ilan pang mga solar projects ang meron kayo? Kasi isa lang yung may battery kayo, di ba? So ilan pa ang lalagyan nyo pa ng battery?
All. We are building 1 gigawatt every year for
Okay.
the next 5 years. No? Eventually, lahat yan lalagyan
Lahat
natin.
All locations.
Mm.
So speaking of yung projects niyo, sir. Sir, you've announced an ambitious $1 billion capex plan for solar projects this year. How do you prioritize which regions or grid zones to develop next?
We approach a cluster strategy. We will prioritize where areas where we have existing and expand from there. If you look at our footprint, we are, I think, in 7 or 8 regions lang eh. We carefully select our site in terms of one, the typhoon belt, no? Kasi ang kalaban ng solar really is typhoon, yung storm, no? So we really very careful in selecting sites na hindi masyado daanan ng typhoon. Second, obviously, the availability of the grid, no? Third would be yung mga friendly LGU that welcome us.
Totoo naman. Totoo.
Yes.
Tama, tama. Actually, totoo yan, sir. Yung sa typhoon, di ba, dumating, kakaalis lang ni Uwan. May solar kasi kami, kaka-install lang ng solar panel sa bahay namin. Yung asawa ko, yun yung bino-worry niya. Yung, alam mo yung hindi yung bubong eh. Yung
Yung
solar
solar.
panel, baka mamaya doon, hindi siya nakatulog. Nakakatawa. Ako yung mahimbing ang tulog. Siya sabi niya, puyat na puyat daw siya kasi naririnig daw niya, parang feeling daw niya.
Mga liparin.
Oo, solar panel ang lumilipad. Pero has that happened to you? Yung isa sa mga solar projects nyo na hindi man na wipe out pero nasira because of the strength of a typhoon.
Yeah. Luckily, by the grace of God, for the past 10 years, no, we have 10, 11 plants. So far, the strongest, the biggest damages so far, nilipad yung panel, not even 1% of the total panel. So I think that's because of how we design, workmanship, and in spite of it, we ensure na all our solar panels are insured to the full replacement value and with business interruption, meaning up to 6 months worth of revenue loss. Naka-insure yan. That's why very careful yung site selection and then how you design.
Saka syempre investment mo, dapat climate change resilient
Yes,
din siya.
that's true.
Alam mo sir, if I may digress, isa nga dun sa mga sinasabi ng criticisms against solar is, syempre di ba may lifespan tong mga panels na to. Tapos pag natapos na yung lifespan nila, saan nyo daw itatapon yung mga yon? So parang it's an issue of waste also. How do you did you consider that? I'm sure you considered that also. Pero anong strategy nyo about that?
Well, it can be recycled.
Okay.
I mean the aluminum frame, hindi lahat yan itatapon. And for the panels na nasira na ni-replace namin, we actually build eco shed.
Oh.
If you look at the provinces where we operate, yung mga tricycle, yung mga waiting shed. So, mga panels yun.
Okay.
Ang
Pero gumaganang panels, hindi na.
damage.
Oo.
So, we try to make good use of the damaged panels.
I see. Smart.
We even built solar panel na table.
Oh.
So, pwede yan
Oo.
for table.
Galing. So, CREC raised 4.4 billion for the Pangasinan solar farm and also secured a security bank loan for another project. How is CREC structuring its project financing to balance rapid expansion with financial sustainability? Kasi syempre, loan yan, kailangan mabayaran mo yan. Diba?
Yeah. So, every asset, every plant are ring-fenced. We normally fund this via the project financing using a 70-30 debt equity leverage ratio, which is industry acceptable. And our plants comes with long-term offtake contract, 20 years. Matching yan. Ang project financing term natin is 15 years. So, matching yung cash flow niyan ang pinaka-risk na babantayan mo lang dyan is the execution risk. Pag may construction delay ka, dun ka lang magkakaroon ng mismatch or construction or cost overrun. So kailangan bantayan mo yung yung cost overrun na So now, once na matapos yan, matching na because of the guaranteed offtake. So typically 70% debt yan, 30% will be the equity. Sa equity, because we're a listed entity, we have several options. We can issue bond, green bond, we can raise new equity via the stock market, so on and so forth. So our goal of building 1 gigawatt a year comes with a financial plan already. That's my cup of tea.
Sir, kasi next question dapat is how do you see CREC's generation portfolio evolving in the next 5 years? Pero sabi mo na nga na you're building 1 gigawatt per year, di ba? So beyond siguro 5 years, ano yung nakikita nyong expansion in terms of capacity, technology mix, or grid role? Siguro, yan, capacity obviously, lalaki yan. Technology mix, sir, anong, what technologies are you looking at? Are you still, ganun pa rin ba? Solar, wind, hydro, may biomass by the way.
Yeah, we will primarily be, even the next 10 years, we will be primarily solar, wind, and battery. Hydro, maybe the run-of-river hydro, not the big hydro, large lump. Hydro, it's so difficult to build. We have one run-of-river hydro. We're on our 7th year na 8 years. Ang hirap gawin because nasa high, walang access road to get you to where the resource. And we tried biomass din early in our years. Nalugi lang kami. Ang hirap i-guarantee yung feedstock.
Mahal din pati.
Yes, mahal din. We've looked at waste to energy. Ang mahal din ng technology na yan. Solar is the most practical. And we believe we haven't even reached the peak of solar. Kasi when we started 10 years ago, yung efficiency ng panel is only like 15-16%. Yung ngayong newer generation sets of panels, mas malalaki, mga 600 watt. We come from 250 watt. Yung efficiency niya is as high as 20-22% na. If you talk to this manufacturer, ang goal nila is to bring it up to 40%. So, kaya pa ma-double yung efficiency. Meaning, the generation output can still increase, can still double. So, ang layo pa ng pwedeng evolution ng technology.
Lugi pala kayo sa biomass. Kahapon, we were able to interview McKay Green Energy Corporation. So, Batangas. Baka mamaya you want to consider that hindi na daw kasi 'di ba usually yung bagas, ano pa ba, sugarcane, ito daw Batangas.
We've tried that. A different variants lang. We tried Napier grass.
Oo. Talaga masasayang lang. Kawawa naman sila.
Maybe they found the right secret formula. In our case, between solar and biomass, I will go with solar.
Okay. So, as the Philippines aims for a 35% renewable share by 2030, how do you see CREC contributing to that goal beyond just adding megawatts?
Mm-hmm. Well, aside from being a power generation, we're also consumer, di ba? Mm-hmm. So, dun as a generation entity, I think we will continue to build up new capacity to help the government reach that mix, di ba? But beyond that, as a consumer, we should be cognizant also in our day-to-day living to match naman the So meaning, of course, with the advent of EV, we would obviously prefer using EV than the diesel power vehicles. And the day-to-day life, that's also how we contribute in. It's not about carbon emission. It's not about displacing carbon emission. It's also responsible consumer.
How about energy efficiency?
Yes,
No.
we've been using that in all the building that we are building, si Megawide. No? We make sure na how we design the air handling unit, the building to be, even the window na maging energy efficient siya.
What are the biggest technical or policy hurdles preventing not only solar, pero kasi kanina na-mention mo, yung sa hydro, sir, di ba walang access road. So, sa mga, when you set up your projects, what are the biggest hurdles in terms of policies preventing you from playing a larger role in the grid's baseload capacity?
Well, it's really harmonizing the short to long term transmission development plan because there are many generation company that can put up generation power plant, hindi naman ma-deliver sa may mismatch because at the end of the day I think Metro Manila or Luzon is still 70% of the countrywide demand but you cannot put naman your power plant in Metro Manila. So at the end of the day, you really rely on the grid. So I think some policy would really need to revisit to encourage faster, more efficient rolling out of the upgrade of the transmission backbone.
Is there something that the private sector can do? Kasi syempre, ang government meron din silang sariling hurdles is the private sector something, is there something that the private sector can do on its own to address
Well,
or help the government or
Yeah.
help NGCP rin?
yeah, the private sector is always willing naman to step in. It's just that power is highly regulated. Before you can do anything, you need regulators to approve. Diba? Case in point, the GenCo are willing naman to build the transmission line
yeah.
upfront to help NGCP. But I think the policy need to be more clear on how we can execute. Diba?
Okay. With CREC's integrated model from development to power marketing, how does the company navigate issues like curtailment, congestion, and balancing costs?
Yeah. So as mentioned a while ago, we have the flexibility to build our solar close to where the demand is. Can be per region, per province. That's how we navigate through the congestion and curtailment issue. And the battery is a very good technology to address curtailment. Kasi minsan, pag sa dami ng gusto mag-build ng solar, congested ka sa umaga. Pero sa gabi, libre yung line, di ba? So you basically store and then you dispatch at the hour of the day where walang congestion. So the battery is a very critical factor to address the curtailment.
Talagang, alam mo sir, in fairness when we uploaded this news sa LinkedIn sa website namin, ang daming nag-react. Siyempre good news kasi sa inyo, but yung your partnership with Petarmina signals growing regional synergy between Philippines and Indonesia, perhaps even ASEAN renewable players. What's the strategic value of this collaboration for CREC? And are we looking at more projects pa in the region?
Yeah. So the partnership with Pertamina essentially allows us to potentially expand outside of the Philippines. While today we're focused in the Philippines, we're seeing potentially expanding into Indonesia. And Pertamina is backed by the Nantara, which is number 4 largest sovereign wealth fund lang naman in the world. So they have deep pocket. So I think it's a good partnership. We view Pertamina both as financial and strategic partnership. It can open wide opportunity beyond the market where we are operating into.
And if ever sa Indonesia, what projects are you looking at? Still solar?
Still solar battery.
Okay. Walang ibang other countries that you're eyeing? Indonesia ba muna for now, or?
Well, for now, Philippines, maybe in the next 2 to 3 years after we reach the 5 gigawatt, and I think the ASEAN grid, one grid, is somehow, we've seen positive progress towards that. Although nahuli ang Pilipinas kasi our Palawan is still not yet connected to the grid. But we've seen Thailand, even Cambodia, Malaysia, Indonesia, Singapore, medyo nag-i-integrate na sila.
Oo.
So, medyo ahead na sila dun sa one grid. That is a very one positive kasi now it will open up. We can sell electricity even if our plant is in Philippines, we can export na and sell to neighboring ASEAN, di ba? And vice versa. So I think this is a very significant space that we're monitoring.
Sa tingin niyo, sir, possible yun? Tayo nga, hirap na hirap tayong hirap na tayo, tapos mag-export pa tayo. I mean, pero si Singapore is exporting even pala water from Malaysia. Ano mo, sabi nung friend ko.
Yes, they're importing. They're importing.
Oo, oo. So, do you think that's really possible with the ASEAN grid?
Yes, that's
Philippines,
for Philippines.
Oo.
Well, I think mahuhuli tayo. Nauna na yung iba eh. Mahuhuli tayo mag-integrate. First, because we're still deficit.
Yun nga
So, I think we need to catch up.
Oo.
Dapat may surplus para, before you export, dapat surplus to. Plus yung grid mo, dapat naka-integrate na sa Palawan. Kasi dun yung, from Palawan, dun ka didikit sa Sabah. Di ba? So, all those, maybe the next 5-10 years?
5 years. Hindi pa naman tayo. Yung sabi ko, iisipin ko, ano ba yung realistic na timeline? Kasi yun nga wala pa naman tayong surplus, di ba? So, paano magiging possible yun? Willpower.
Yes. Diba? Yes.
Beyond Indonesia, sir, although na-mention nyo naman, but are you looking at, kasi yung like si Perde Renewables, they're looking at Malaysia, Vietnam, Indonesia. Are you also looking at those countries as well?
We keep an eye.
Okay.
Especially just the other day, I was I have a meeting with a Vietnamese. Vietnam is starting to open up. They're following our model. Kasi si Vietnam, it's like our Napocor days pa eh. We're monopoly yung So ngayon, they're allowing na the direct bilateral negotiation. You can sell direct to consumer. So nag-open up na siya. We keep an eye on these neighboring countries. But our focus still Philippines kasi ang laki pa ng deficit, ang laki pa ng kailangan gaps na kailangan i-fill up.
With Megawide taking a 13% stake in CREC, how does this change your growth trajectory or capital access moving forward?
Wala, it won't. Because it's still within the group naman eh. I think it's just restructuring within the group. It doesn't change management control. It doesn't change the strategic direction. And even before Megawide taking a stake, the synergy across the group has been very robust naman eh.
So, mabalik ako dun sa Indonesia. Ano na ba yung napag-uusapan nyo? Parang anong mga firm discussions on your partnership with Pertamina?
Well, I'm not at liberty.
Ayoko nung at not liberty.
And then, anything concrete kasi, I cannot disclose.
Hindi kasi listed kayo.
Yes.
Ka na lang, mag-follow up disclosure ka.
Immediately.
That
there's exchanging, there's a working group, changing ideas on how can we leverage each other expertise. So it's a very vibrant working group, especially now na they are a shareholder, di ba? Concrete plan, meron. I just cannot disclose it.
Ano ba best practice nila doon that we can adopt here in the Philippines?
Well,
or CREC can adopt?
Well, in terms of solar, ahead tayo sa kanila eh.
Okay.
In terms of mas marami silang island. I mean, island din ng Indonesia, di ba? And right now, they have the ability kasi to export power to Singapore, especially with the data center boom in Singapore. So that's an opportunity that we can look into. Them being a state-owned, so I think we can learn from them in terms of their financial strategy, and then obviously here naman having a state-owned shareholder give us the credibility and the muscle.
Data center in Indonesia o dito? Opportunity na data center doon or dito? Both.
Both. Pwede rin.
The renewable sector can be unpredictable. Policy shifts, weather risk, financing pressures. How do you personally stay grounded and make decisions amid uncertainty?
Yeah. Well, for one, we base our expansion plan, our decision, on market base. Okay. I think Philippines is open market naman yung power industry natin. We don't base our plan based from government policy. Kasi nga, pag nag-change ang administration, mag-iiba yan. So, meaning, even if even if the next administration suddenly shifted, parang si Donald Trump, forget renewable energy, balik tayo sa coal, we make sure that our business is not affected. Kasi, why? Because we can continue to build solar and sell our power to our customer, which is outside of the government, di ba? So we make sure that we're not reliant on government policy. Ngayon, magandang policy, encouraging renewable. We take advantage. But we make sure na hindi kami mapipilayan if suddenly the new government take that away. In terms of weather risk, I think I explained that a while ago. Site selection, how we design, and then with the insurance. In terms of the market, again, we need to make sure that our product, our plant, are built competitive so that we're able to match the market price.
If you were mentoring young engineers or energy professionals today, what skill set would you tell them to develop to thrive in this new energy economy? Entrepreneurial spirit pa rin, no?
Yeah, no. I would answer not only for energy, as in general as an entrepreneur, especially like from us, first generation. First, I think you need to develop the perseverance and the determination. First, you need to make sure that you have a goal, no? And fix your mindset in achieving that goal. Kasi it won't be a walk in the park. Okay. I wish I can tell our the young ones na, madali lang yan. It's not a walk in the park. Having the right values anchoring to the right values will help you during turbulent times. Will help you during times na you want to give up. No. So very important is you persevere, you're determined. Second, do not limit your creativity. Do not limit your dreams. Dream as big as possible, and then take baby step, work into that. And obviously, if I think most of the successful naman will tell you na sometimes 4 na oras ka lang natutulog. There will be days na talagang hard work, and then of course you pray that the universe, God, will somehow make the environment friendly to you. The opportunity will knock at your door. You just need to be ready.
But you got so lucky,
Mhm.
'di ba? Kasi yung dream mo, kumbaga sumubok ka and you become so successful. So
But
were there
finished product na lang nakikita natin.
yun nga naman.
If you look at the behind the scene, we've had our fair share of failures. We have our fair share of heartaches.
Hard.
We also reached the point of giving up.
At I was about to ask you, was there any parang any point in time that you felt na, or you thought na, wag na nga, alis na nga tayo dito. Sige, magpapaka-empleyado na nga lang ako.
Oh, many times. Many times, no. That's why at the end of the day, it's the tenacity. It's the tenacity, no. And I think it's really the ability, the courage, the tenacity. Otherwise, mabilis kang sumuko. But we reach a point many times. We wanted to give up.
Pero nakakatuwa, sir, kasi sabi mo nga yung unang client nyo was the C family, di ba? What do you think they saw in you for them to place their bets on Megawide and Megawide nung time na yon?
Well, as much as I like to say na they see something in us, the reality is nagsubok sila ng isang project. And that's the water. No? And one project, we deliver, sige, bigyan mo ng dalawa. Okay, then deliver, bigyan mo ng tatlo. That's the reality in life. The most difficult is getting that break. To some nga, hindi nga sinubukan na isang project. So, the most difficult is getting that break. Once you have that break, you make sure na you deliver. Because that will open gates of opportunity. Kasi you're able to deliver. And then the next, you're able to build a track record na, a brand na, we deliver, di ba? So, yun yung importante.
Okay, sir, quick fire. Morning coffee or evening calls?
Morning coffee.
The one thing you always take with you when you travel?
Passport.
Sir, kahit manlukan. Pang ID na rin no? Favorite renewable technology? Alam ko ata to. Solar, wind, or hydro?
Solar.
Name 3 top songs on your morning playlist. Kasama dun sa pipe-in music kanina sa
Morning playlist. Goodness of God. How great is our God. Through it all.
If you're a character in a book or a movie, who do you think best portrays you?
Superman.
If not in renewables, what industry would you have pursued? Definitely
Finance. Finance.
pa rin. Di na talaga electrical engineer.
Hindi na.
Your go-to productivity hack?
Time blocking.
So parang may nakaalat ka lang, itong time na to, dapat
do what?
ito lang.
Yeah.
Tapos ito, ito lang.
Yeah.
Okay. What are your top 3 used emojis?
Smile. Yung nag-iisip. Heart.
Heart. Favorite Philippine province for clean energy potential? Batangas ba yan? Parang dami na sa Batangas.
Baka may magselos.
Ay, no. Yung kung sino daw ang pinaka-friendly sa kanila.
Baka may magselos. All the provinces where we're.
So, pantay-pantay. Parang
Pantay-pantay.
anak lang pala yan, walang favorite. Rainy or sunny weather?
Rainy?
In an alternate universe, di ka nalulungkot? Ako nalulungkot
Pag
ako
rainy?
oo, ewan ko.
Kaysa mainit.
Hello, may solar ka, dapat matuwa ka pag mainit, di ba? In an alternate universe, you're the energy secretary for a day. What's your first executive order?
A one-stop shop. For all the permits, dapat isa lang. Even the national to local government, isang agency lang magbibigay ng permit.
We heard how CREC is pushing the boundaries of what solar can deliver, not just as a daytime resource, but as a reliable, dispatchable power source. We explored the technologies behind the baseload solar, the company's financing strategy, and the way CREC is navigating grid challenges that many developers still struggle with today. Oliver also gave us a look into the bigger picture, how CREC is preparing for the Philippines' 35% renewable energy target, how storage will redefine the country's power mix, and how partnerships like the one with Pertamina signal a more interconnected ASEAN clean energy ecosystem. But beyond the data and the megawatts, I think what stands out is the mindset behind the work. The belief that renewables are not just an option, but the foundation of a more resilient energy future. Oliver's leadership journey shows how experience, conviction, and a willingness to challenge old assumptions can reshape an entire sector. If this conversation inspired you, follow the Power Podcast on Spotify, YouTube, and LinkedIn for more stories that illuminate the people behind the Philippines' energy transformation. Also, don't forget to subscribe, share, and follow Power Philippines on Facebook and LinkedIn for more updates. For your comments and suggestions, shoot us a message on Power Philippines Facebook Messenger account or email us at news.powerph@gmail.com. And of course, stay updated on the country's energy sector by visiting powerphilippines.com and by liking us at Facebook. If you want to view this podcast again, check out our YouTube channel at Power Philippines News. I'm Mai Tanglao and this has been the Power Podcast.